Hi, my name is Dede. I've lived in San Diego since 1978 and in Lemon Grove, East County since 1986. To explain how I got to Lemon Grove, I'm going to go back and explain how I got here in the first place. My grandparents, my father's parents, were born in Germany, and my grandfather and my grandmother got married fairly late in life because of World War I. My grandfather fought on the Western Front in World War I and did come back. All 5 brothers survived, came back with Iron Crosses. They immigrated to the United States after the Depression, after the war, which was devastating, and ended up in Colorado, where my father was born, and ended up actually doing fairly well in Denver, Colorado. My father eventually became a mathematics professor, and they moved to Boulder, Colorado, where the University of Colorado is, and had a boarding house, and he taught mathematics. On my mother's side, I guess you could say that her mother was kind of a society girl, had the coming out parties in Dallas and was considered quite a catch. And she and my grandfather married in the late, I guess it was 1918, 1919. And in 1925, they had my mother, who was also considered quite a beauty when she reached the age of 16. She ended up going to the University of Colorado and met my father there. And after 10 days of knowing each other, they got engaged and got married on Christmas Eve in 1945. 10 years later, there were 4 more of them, or 4 more of us. I'm the youngest of 4 kids. And in 1956, I think they were trying to do what most people in the 50s were doing, was, reach those American dream goals. By 1969, a lot of stuff had changed, as you can tell by some of the hairdos. And unfortunately, part of that change was that my parents did get a divorce. And at that time, I finished my 9th grade year with my father in Boulder and ended up moving to California to be with my mom. We lived in the Orange County, LA area, and at that time, I was very starstruck and wanted to be an actress, and ended up studying belly dancing. And I was studying belly dancing at the age of 14 and became a professional at the age of 16 and was also teaching classes. I was dancing in Hollywood and then had an opportunity to go to Mexico, and I danced in Mexico City and throughout Mexico when I was 18 and 19 years old, which was an interesting time because 1974 was Watergate, and seeing America from a different perspective was quite a revelation for an 18-year-old. When I came back, I did end up back in Hollywood, and I was dancing 5 nights a week at clubs on Sunset Boulevard and had an agent and did things at MGM Studios and in Las Vegas, and was actually studying at Lee Strasberg Theater Institute and planning on a pretty good career. I ended up getting involved with somebody who ended up having some problems, and after 3 years I came to San Diego at my mother's request and offer to kind of come down here and regroup and lick my wounds. And my mother gave me the offer to come down to San Diego, and I came down here in the summer of 1978. At that time, I just really planned on staying in San Diego for the summer and eventually going back to LA, my friends, my career. And I would go back twice a week, and then once a week, and then once a month, and then I just finally decided San Diego was the place for me. So I met my husband in San Diego, and I've been married to him since 1986. And that same year, we moved to Lemon Grove. And we've been here ever since. I love Lemon Grove. At first, it doesn't seem like the typical town in San Diego, but it's got some real special qualities. And the other reason I love San Diego is I just feel at home here, and that there's so much opportunity. It's such a great place to be, and I love the relaxed feeling of the community. So as an 11-year-old girl, I remember wondering where I would be when I was in my 50s. And with my 54th birthday next week, I guess I'm saying to that little 11-year-old girl, you're living in Lemon Grove, California, you have fulfilled a lot of your dreams, and it's a good place to be.